Hey everybody, so I'm actually super nervous to do this. I haven't made a video since I stopped doing Unique. Um, so it's a little bit different to get back into that. Um, I have decided to start a vlog, which is different. It's a lot of people do it. It's not something I've ever thought about doing until recently, and okay, so we'll get into why I'm doing that. First of all, if you're watching this right now, you know me. Nobody who doesn't know me is going to be seeing this for now. Um, so you know that I'm a stay-at-home mom. You know that I have four kids, Emma, Lila, William, and Grace. They are 9, oh my goodness, 9, 6, almost 5, and almost 2. Um, my husband is Luke. Lots of you know me through, know me through Luke. What else? What else is there is about me? I feel like that's what defines me. I am LDS. I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I always feel like I should sing that like a primary song. So if there's anyone who is not LDS, doesn't like Mormons, I will try and give you a heads up if I'm going to talk spiritual matters, which I know makes everyone uncomfortable. No one likes religion. But I believe in God. That's just kind of who I am. It comes out in everything that I do. So if you don't like that, keep moving because this is not the place for you. I do believe in God. He is the only reason why I'm here right now. Okay, probably the most important thing about me right now is that I suffer with something called double depression. It means that it's a combination of two things. Dysthymia, I think I'm saying that right, dysthymia, which is more commonly known as chronic depression, which is like the long-term stretched out, like lasts for a few years kind of a depression. Also with bouts of major depression. That's why it's called double. 2 of them, not awesome. I'm gonna tell you right now, not great. But I figured out how to control it, how to anticipate it for the most part. Sometimes I take medication, sometimes I stay on top of it through vitamins. And I'll talk about that more later. So that really is who I am right now. I'm always changing, I'm always growing, but right now in this moment, that is pretty much who I am. Okay, so the reasons why I decided to start this vlog. The first one is we recently moved from Utah. Me and my husband had lived in Utah our entire lives, and found a job in Charlotte, North Carolina, and now we are here. And it was a really hard move. It was a hard decision, and it took a lot of courage to do something like that. We've been here about 8 or 9 months, and it's been really difficult. It's been difficult on us, really hard on our kids. We just thought they would just kind of like roll with it and adapt, and partially they have, but they miss all of their family. We raised our kids to be really involved in their extended family. They're used to seeing their grandmas and their cousins all the time, and so that's been a really difficult thing. So we are 2,000 miles away from family and from our home. So this is a way that our family and our friends can still be a part of our everyday lives, which I think is the coolest thing. So occasionally there will be, maybe once or twice a week, I'll post things that are going on in our family. I'll take little clips like every day and kind of mash them all together once or twice a week. So whoever wants to, my family, my friends, anyone wants to see what's going on with us, it'll be there. The second reason is Luke and I have just started a new healthy lifestyle. And I don't want to call it a diet because it's not. This is us changing the way that we eat and the way that we view food and how we exercise and basically everything that has to do with health and weight loss and fitness. We're kind of changing it all up. So this is accountability. If I have to get online and say, hey, I ate an entire box of donuts today, maybe that will stop me from eating an entire box of donuts. Also, I've lost weight. Let's see. So I've had 4 kids. I've probably lost the same 40 or 50 pounds 5 or 6 times. In between having kids, after having kids. So I know the tricks and things that work for me, but I'm trying to incorporate those into the new healthy lifestyle we've got going on. So, I'll probably put on here what we're doing, what we're eating, not all the time and not everything, but, just in case it'll help anyone that's struggling, to kind of find that, that one thing that makes the difference. Weight loss is crazy hard. It is so hard to wrap your head around, and even harder to start and to continue long term. So if there is anything I can say or do or whatever in that area that could possibly help someone else, I am all for it. But mostly that second reason is accountability for this person right here. And the third reason, but it is by far the most important reason, this is why I decided to start this vlog. I have dealt with depression since I was 15, so 15 years I've dealt with depression. For most of my growing up years, or, the years while I was at home still, nobody had any idea. I thought it was mostly just teenage angst. I just thought that all teenagers went through that, and that all of my friends were going through that and not talking about it. And so I didn't really talk to my friends about it. I didn't talk to my mom about it or my dad. And once I got married, I had this great, amazing husband who supported me and took me for what I was, and I felt safe and secure for the first time in my life. And so, of course, I completely bottomed out. I had the worst depression I had had to that date. And it was really weird. Like, Luke had never had any experience with depression, and so this was all really new for him, and it was new for me, having this person that was always there and asking how I was doing, and it really was a challenge. And so over the last 10 years that we've been married, we have kind of figured out. Luke is on the flip side of how to help take care of somebody that has depression, how to recognize the signs, how to basically handle that kind of a situation, because it is hard. Having depression is hard, but having a spouse or a loved one with depression is like so hard. So there's all that we've learned from that, and I know firsthand what it feels like to feel like you are completely alone, to not feel like anyone in the entire world understands what you're going through. And I had maybe a handful of people that that could empathize with me and really knew where I was coming from. And depression, it is so wildly different, even inside of me. My depression has a vast range of, from like minor to like major, and sometimes I'll think I have it all figured out and I've got my depression real dialed, but then I'll get this whole new thing. Like right now I'm totally depressed, And it's kind of weird, like there's no reason for it. I'm doing really well, I'm exercising, I'm losing weight. There's no reason for me to be depressed. And so it's just like one more layer that I have to figure out. It's kind of like never ending. So if all of that weirdness and depression is happening just inside of me, you can imagine how totally different it would be from person to person to person. So I am here to empathize with anyone who has struggled with depression or anxiety, any postpartum depression. That was a real big struggle for me, and every time I thought it was over, then I would go off my medication a couple months after I thought it was over, and then all of a sudden it was back. And so any kind of depression or anxiety, I feel you. I know what is happening. It is horrible, and you feel so secluded and so alone. I want to be that person that tells you you're not alone. I know exactly how you feel. I have been suicidal for probably the last 12 years. That has been really hard for my husband to deal with. A lot of people call suicide selfish, but when you reach that point where you will do anything to make the pain stop, you're almost not even in control of yourself and your faculties anymore. It's almost something that is beyond your control. Having said that, I have dealt with suicidal thoughts for 12 years. I used to think that that made me weak, that I was weak for feeling that way. Why couldn't I just control myself? Why couldn't I just make myself be happy with prayer and positive affirmations and exercise? And, those are lots of things that I heard from lots of different people. I used to think that I was so incredibly weak. But last year I realized that wanting to commit suicide for that long and not doing it makes me strong. There is immense strength in feeling like your world is spiraling out of control and then saying, no, I will take back control. I will be in charge of myself. I will be in charge of my own mind. So, depression and all that covers. I'll go more into that later. And one of the biggest things we're struggling with right now, Luke and I, is secondary infertility. We have 4 kids already, so people are probably like, what? Why are you trying to get pregnant? To that I say, mind your own womb. It is not up to anyone to judge if people have too many kids, if people don't have enough kids, if people have no kids. It's not your business, okay? For us, we feel like there is one more child. Just one. And we have been trying to get pregnant for a year and a half. And it has been a struggle. Anyone who has ever wanted to be pregnant and not been able to, you know what that feeling is like. Every month that your cycle comes around and you're not pregnant, that is the most devastating feeling in the world. It doesn't matter if you have no children or 1 child or 10 children. That feeling is heartbreaking. One of the leading causes of secondary infertility is weight gain in both men and women. And obviously, I am at my heaviest weight that I've ever been. And that is devastating to me. I know how I got here. I know how to fix it. It's a long, hard road. Infertility is talked about a lot more these days than it used to be. But secondary infertility there's not a lot of information. There's not a lot of people talking about it because everyone's like, well, you already have a kid, be grateful for what you have. Which is all fine and good, I am grateful. I adore my 4 children. They're the best part of my life. But when you want another child and you can't have one, it's devastating. So if there is anyone out there going through that, I know exactly what it's like. So mostly what I want to do, I am not in this to become famous or make money or do anything like that. That is not my thing at all. I tried the work at home thing. I'm not so into it. Mostly I just want to stay connected to my family and help someone. If I can only help one person that's feeling suicidal and says, my life isn't worth living, if I can help them with something, some tiny, tiny thing that I said that helps them come back off of that ledge, that to me is worth all the time and effort put into this. Or if something I say about secondary infertility strikes a chord with somebody who's struggling with the same thing, great. It's not misery loves company. It's we need other people to get through this life. If you ask anyone who really knows me, they will tell you that I am real. I am genuine and I tell the truth. I don't sugarcoat my life. If people ask me how I'm doing, they better be prepared to hear a real answer instead of, I'm fine. It's just who I am. And when I meet people like me that give real answers and there's that connection that, oh my heck, you were up all night with your kid puking? I was too! It's that moment of connection, even if you never see that person again in your life. To connect with other people is the best feeling in this world. So, that is why I'm starting this vlog. I will probably do a couple more posts throughout the week. I've saved a bunch of clips from my family throughout the week, so I'll be posting that. If you watch clear to the end of this, you are a saint. I tend to kind of babble, so I'm sorry about that. Anyways, I hope that if any of that resonated with you, that you will share a future post so that someone who is struggling can see it. All right. I love you guys. See you later.